What? Can somebody tell me anything we've talked about concerning lines so far? Anything? Give me anything. What have we talked about so far about lines? Anything? Yes. Slope. Kick ass. Now tell me what slope. Tell me anything about slope. Rise over run. Can you get a little more mathematical about it? Yes. Y2 minus Y1. Why does that make sense, by the way? What controls up and down? What controls up and down? The y-axis. So, of course, the rise is y2 minus y1. It's trying to be a 2, by the way. And, of course, run is the other one. Left and right is controlled by the x-axis. Yes? So this is old news, but again, for some of us, we haven't had math in a while, so it's got to kind of like come back up, emerge, kind of like crawl out like a little brain zombie. You have to remember it. What's the letter we use for slope? Yeah, obviously N. What else would you use, right? That's a joke, by the way. I think I told you the theory that is for marcher, from French for to walk. And of course, the main equation is what?
mx plus b.
There is another equation. And I want to first, let's do this. Let's do this. Because we could do this right now. Let me think, what else do I want to resurrect in your brains? Oh yeah, how do I find, if I'm given an equation, a linear equation, how do I find the x-intercept?
Y equals 0.
Beautiful, right? And why, can anyone tell me why is that a linear equation? Why is that a linear function?
This is no exponents.
No exponent, well, the exponent is 1,
Yeah.
right? You're good though, you're right. There's no explicit exponent, so since there's nothing there, we know it's a 1. So as long as, and I don't care if you have 87 variables in an equation, if they're all to the first power, it's called a linear function. So everybody with me? So the minute you have a different power on any variable, it's not linear. Obviously, if the x was squared, it would be parabolic, it'd be quadratic. Yes? How you guys doing? So far, so good? So, why does it make sense to make y 0 to find the x-intercept? Because what happens if I draw many, many lines? What's true at the x-intercept every single time? What's the value of y?
0.
Yes! Kick ass. Students forget this so easily for some reason. If I ask you for both intercepts, don't solve for y. You'll get b, which is the y piece of the y-intercept, but it's not going to help you get the x-intercept. Don't do any of this. Just plug a 0 in for y, get the x-intercept. So what happens when you plug a 0 in for y?
You get 3x equals 24.
Yes, so x is...
8.
Now, I'm going to make a mistake. So far, I'm good, but I haven't really answered this question, but we'll see what you think. How do I get the y-intercept then? That's insane. So, I don't think I've told you this yet, but like in my last math course, which was Math 696, I had an equation that had like 13 variables in it, and my instructor wanted us to find the w-intercept. Are you with me? So we were in 13-dimensional space. So what did I do? I made all the other letters 0. I made every other variable 0. Same thing you do every time, yes? If you want to find the whatever intercept, you make all the other variables 0. That'll force you on that axis. I don't know if you guys are with me or not. I only tell you that story just to tell you what you're learning now is applicable all the way up. We happen to be in 2 dimensions. What happens if I'm in 3 dimensions? Well, if you want the z-intercept, you make x and y 0. Then you'll find that intercept. Are you guys at all with me?
Yes.
So this is immediately applicable to every level of mathematics. Okay. So what do you get when you set x equal to 0? What do you get? 6. Cool. Now watch this. If I ask somebody to graph this using the x and y intercept, I'm going to make a mistake. There we go. And then what I'll often get is somebody will plot that point and then they'll put a question mark because they're like, I don't know what to do now, man. Because how many lines could I draw through that point? Let's just start there. Let's not talk about the mistake yet. How many lines could I draw through a single point? Infinite number of lines, yes? So I don't blame the student for being confused where to go from here, but I'm confused what they did. So what did they do?
They plotted the x and y intercept
As if it was a single point, yes?
Yeah.
So that's why when you find the intercept, to save your own self, yes? Write it as a point. So what is the x-intercept? What did we do to find the x-intercept? Set y to 0. So we already know y is 0 because we set it to 0, yes? And what did we get for x? 8. How do we find the y-intercept? We made x 0, and what did we get? 6. So those are 2 distinct points. Are you guys with me? So I might have just saved a few people from yourselves. Okay. This is why I make a kind of a semi-big deal when you say what's the y-intercept and you say 4, and I'm like, no, to save you from this kind of mistake. Yes. So now if I wanted to plot a line, I can do it because I have 2 distinct points. I have 0, 6, bam, and 8, 0. Get out of there. Yeah. It's pretty good for me. And maybe. Okay, just a small little detail. So if I need to find both intercepts, set the other one to 0 to find the first one, yes. If I just need the y-intercept, you can solve for a y. You guys kind of... Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to give us, yeah, that's right. I'm catching up with what I was going to do earlier. We should be able to do this now. Yeah. So today's going to be neat. I'm going to immediately shut up. I'm going to let you guys work on this. Work on it by yourself first. Alright. I start off really basic. So give that a try. Go ahead and work on it by yourself, and then I'll ask you to kind of work with people near you. So just to let you know, I'm not going to talk about it right now, but later this semester we're going to talk about the equation of a circle. And if I put the equation in the right form, I'll be able to just see the center and see the radius. Because what's the most important 2 things about a circle? The center and the radius. If I know those 2 things, I can draw it. Does that make sense? I gotta know where the middle is, and then the radius just tells me how far to go out, and then I got the circle, yes? So Matt, this is so cool. If I have the equation of a shape, if I put the equation in the right form, the most important aspects of that shape should jump out at me. So with lines, the best form for a line is y equals mx plus b. And it feels a little like it's not going to work, or it shouldn't work, or cheating, or whatever. But if I take any line in the universe and I solve for y, I can see m, I can see b. Why does that make sense? Because what's the 2 most important things about a line? The y-intercept, and then how to go from there. Yes? So if I put it in the right form, those will jump out. That'll come into play here in a bit. This first one, I hope to God it was okay, but I just like to be sure. So I'll do this very quickly. -1, 3, 0, 2, -3, -5, and -4, 0. For some reason, I left this one alone. Too bad for everybody. Okay. Good? Okay. What I love is like when I taught elementary algebra or whatever, and I had a problem where they had to plot a bunch of points, they would plot them and not label them. And I'm like, how am I supposed to grade this? So I'm always like, label the shit out of it. Okay. If I give you 2 points and they're not in a graph, the quickest way to get the slope is to do what? Yes. Now, I've told this to a few groups. To be really honest, one reason the subscripts are there is because if it just said y minus y, that would look like it was 0. But the most important reason the subscripts are there is if I choose to do -4 minus 5, I must then do -2 minus -3. I have to go the same way. So if you call this one 2, the second point, this one the first point, you have to go the same way. I'm going to do it both ways, just to show you. So if I do -4 minus 5, so I went this way. On the bottom, I must do -2 minus -3. And then I'll get -9 over 1. I'll get -9, yes? Is that cool? If I'd gone the other way, 5 minus -4 over -3 minus -2, plus, that becomes 9 over -1. Do you see how the sign is just on the top or the bottom? But the answer is still -9. So it doesn't matter which one you choose to be the first point and the second point. Who gives a shit? Because I don't know which way on this road I'm going. So who cares what I call first, second? You just have to go the same way, or else the sign is going to be wrong. Okay. And that's huge. That's the difference between telling your boss your profits are going up versus the truth your profits are going down. You want to make sure that slope is the right way. Anybody else freaked out about this guy? If I just do it, -5 minus 1 over 6 minus 6. And then some of you guys stop there because your brain said no. Why'd your brain say no?
0.
Yeah, so 2 acceptable answers for this. Anytime I try to divide by 0, it's automatically called what? Undefined. Because there's no number defined in such a way that 0 times that number is -6. And that's what it would mean for there to be an answer to this. Therefore, we call it undefined. It only makes sense. Ain't nothing defined that way. In terms of slope, you'll often hear this called infinite. So is everybody with me? If I had the slope like this, and this is my profit, does everybody agree with me the profit's slowly going up? You with me? And this is like over months. Is my profit going up higher now? Quicker? How about now? This would be infinite increase. Just all in a nanosecond, my profit went to infinity. That's why we can call this infinite slope. Okay, maybe. Screw you, Jeff. Yes?
What do you want us to put for an answer for it? Do you want no solution?
Either undefined. No, it's definitely never no solution because is there an equation in the question? Is there an equation here? So, is there an equation in the question? No. We set up a way to find the slope, which is still not an equation. I know I see an equal sign. I totally do. But it's not an equation, it's a process to find the slope, yes? So of course the answer could never be no solution because there's no equation. So it's either undefined or infinite. Did anybody ever have a teacher call it infinite slope, anybody? Alright, if you don't like infinite, call it undefined, because that's correct. Either way. What have I done? Did I put glasses somewhere? Okay. Are those them? Why did I do that? Just give them my glasses away. Hello. So undefinable set. Holy shit. Undefined.
Did you write not a function?
No. Well, I mean, that's not the question.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? It's like if I said, what's 4 plus 5, and you said, well, the sky is blue. I'm like, that's right, but it wasn't my question.
Okay.
So you're right. It wouldn't represent a function because it doesn't pass the vertical line test. Not the question. Cool. This one we basically did almost the same problem. How do I find the x-intercept?
3x equals 12.
You make y 0, right? So you can basically actually just cover it. You'll get 3x equals 12.
X equals 4.
Divided by 3, you get 4. So when y is 0, x is 4. What about the y-intercept? So you get negative 4y equals 12. So y is negative 3. So when x is 0, y is negative 3. 4, 0, 0, negative 3. Yeah.
Oh, so how is it negative? Oh, wait, negative 3.
Yes.
Can you repeat how you did the y-intercept?
Sure. Let me see. Where can I put this? Strixman's part of this one. So let me show you. X-intercept. I know you asked for y-intercept, but I'm an asshole. I make y 0. That's how we got 4 for the x piece. For the intercept. Y-intercept, so this will be 4, 0. Y-intercept, I make x 0. Now sometimes I'll have people do this. And then they'll do this. And they'll subtract 3. Is that okay? 3 times 0 is frickin', get out of here. Yeah. So then divide by negative 4. So that's how I got negative 3. Is that cool? So I don't solve for y. I could, but that would only give me half of the answer. So I don't even waste time doing that. I just plug zeros in. Now this one is a problem I love for 2 reasons. You have to understand how easy it is to get units. Because slope is what over what? Now be a little more algebraic. Y's over x's. So to be honest, before I do any work, I already know what the units are going to be. What's the y-axis, the y's? What units? Inches. And what's the x's? So inches per minute. I already know what the units are going to be. Because I know slope is y's over x's, so the units are y stuff over x stuff. So how do I get the actual thing? Well, from here, I go down how much? 3. And then I go, now here's you gotta be careful. How much do I go over? 30. Good, because the slope, the scale on the x-axis is 10s. Inches per minute, so I get 1/10 of an inch per minute, or 1 inch per 10 minutes. I can look at it either way. How we doing?
I made a mistake of putting the X's on top, and so I
Ooh.
thought, it was just a.
I understand. That's easy. Okay. Sounds about right for like a skinny little candle. Right, we'll go down pretty quickly. What's up?
So that's the slope, but how come if you like count the rise and run, it's like 3 and 3, which would be like 1?
Look at the scale on the x-axis.
There we go. Yeah.
I agree, it's 3 steps, but every step is 10 big on the x-axis. This one, I tell you where to start, and then I tell you how to move. So how do I move from here?
3 over.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3 over 1. Wee-haw. Make that big. Kick ass. So 2 things that might be good for some of us. Again, if I was a student in this class, I would tell me, get some freaking graph paper and a freaking ruler. But, it's up to you. Get a graph paper, ruler, go to town. Not too bad of an idea. Number 6, I had a lot of different ideas. And this is why I talked about the circle earlier. Yes? That's in our future. It's going to be interesting to see what the form is. What's the equation of a line that tells me the most immediate information? What equation of a line tells me information? Y equals mx plus b. M is slope, B is y-intercept. So on one level, students don't trust this, and I don't blame you. But if you just solve for the damn y, everything falls into place. So it feels like that can't be right, but that's how lines work. So how do I algebraically solve this equation for y?
Subtract x.
Yeah, subtract x. I'm going to force it in front, just to put it kind of like more in the right order. And divide each piece by 3. What's a better way to write negative x over 3?
Negative 1/3 x.
Good. And 12 divided by 3 is remarkably enough 4. What's the slope?
Negative 1/3.
That's crazy. What's the y-intercept? Careful. And careful.
0 and 4.
0, 4. There we go. And you're allowed to say, oh my god, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you have to get used to reminding yourself that's a full point. 0, 4. And where do I go from there?
Down 1 and right 3.
Down 1 over 3. How do you check yourself? Yeah, what point is that? That's a point we didn't have, that we found. What point is that? 3, 3. When I plug a 3 in and a 3 in, when I plug 3, 3 in, 9 plus 3 is, hey, it works. So that's how you can check yourself. And then down here, what's good about this point?
That is 0.
Sure, so what's that mean? Because I'm trying to find the equation of a line. Why does that point kick ass? What does that point tell me? What's the equation of a line, the one that we know?
Y equals mx plus
Y equals mx plus b. So what part of that? So there's two things I have to figure out, correct? To figure out m, slope, and b, the y piece of the y-intercept. Do I know b?
Yes.
Of course I did. B is negative 2, because they gave me the y-intercept. Kick ass. So this problem sucks. This problem kicks ass. I know b is negative 2. I already know half of what I need to know. How do I get the other thing? What's the other thing I need? Slope. How do we get it?
Y2 minus y1.
Holy shit. So if I do negative 2 minus negative 11 over 0 minus 7, I'll do it the hard way. Negative 2 plus 11, 0 minus 7. So we get negative 9 sevenths, yes? And now I just gotta slap that shit together. I got a gross fraction, didn't I? I don't care. Because I just have to write it, and I'm done. Y equals m
Negative 9 over 7.
x plus b. And of course, plus negative 2 is just minus 2. Is that cool? You guys with me? So part B kind of sucks ass. It doesn't give me the b. It doesn't give me the y-intercept. So I need, and listen, there are definitely other ways to do this, but the thing I'm about to show you becomes really big in calculus. And that's the whole point of this class, is to get people ready for calculus. So I highly recommend you get used to this other thing, because it's going to show up again in a kind of big way in Calc 1 and Calc 2, in case anybody needs Calc 2. So help me out. Here's the equation for slope.
Off screen.
I know. I appreciate that though. This implies that I have to know two specific points. That's what subscripts mean. x1, y1 is the first point I have, and x2, y2 is the second point I have. But how many points are in a line? Infinite number. Does it matter which two I use? Should the slope change if I use two different points? If it did, then the line would curve and it wouldn't be a line anymore, right? Is everybody with me? Okay. What I'm trying to say is, if somebody gave me 1 point, what other point could I use to get the slope? Any other point on the line, correct? So this is going to seem really stupid, but all I'm going to do is, okay, somebody gives me 1 point, and I could choose any other point I want to, so I'm not going to put a subscript on it. It doesn't have to be a specific second point. It could be any other point. And how do I designate, this is going to be weird, how do I designate just a general point that's on a line, x, y? That's every point on the line, yes? That seems really stupid, what I just did. You're like, okay, you didn't write the 2. Good job, Jeff. But now x could be, and y could be any point that's on the line, anything. And now if I multiply by this, I'll get, so these cancel. I'll get y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. You're all like, okay, Jeff. So y equals mx plus b. What's the b?
The Y.
The y piece of the y-intercept. So in order to use that equation, I have to know the y-intercept. What do I need for this equation? I need the
And the X and Y.
slope, and I need a
Point.
any point. It doesn't have to be the y-intercept. It could be any freaking point. So coming back to this problem. How do I get m? I need m for sure.
Rise over river.
Yeah, same way we just did. So I could do 5 minus negative 2. I can go this way. Negative 4 minus 3. And what do I get? Negative 1. Now somebody tell me, which point do you want to use? Because I got 2 and I only need 1. Which point do you want to use? Which point do you want to use? 3, okay, that one. First one I heard, 3 negative 2. So here's the equation. There's the equation I could use if I don't know the y-intercept, so I don't know b. Y minus the y piece equals m times x minus the x piece. And now I could solve to put it into mx plus b form. This be y plus 2 equals negative x plus 3. Subtract 2, I get y equals negative x plus 1. It does not matter which point you pick. Because there's an infinite number of points in the line, they all should come up with the same equation. Yes?
So the only part that I'm lost is, how is B different from what A is asking if it looks almost like identical? And
The
how do you-
question is exactly the same.
Okay,
The information I gave is very different.
okay.
Why was this point so nice? What kind of point is this? Why is this point special? It's the y-intercept.
Okay.
And what's b in mx plus b?
Negative
The
two.
y piece of the y-intercept.
Yeah.
Did they give us the y-intercept over here?
No.
No, how do I know? Because there's nothing with 0 first, yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
If x is 0, that's the y-intercept. If x is anything else, I am not on the y-axis anymore. If x is 1, I stepped 1 away from the y-axis. Do you guys see what I'm saying? If x is 0, I'm on the y-axis.
And it would be the same if it was, if we had Y as a 0, like if, say we had to do
Oh,
the problem a different.
Sure, if I said 3, 0,
Yes,
that's still not the y-intercept.
okay, right.
I would still do it this way.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha, thank you.
And just so you know, there are other ways to do this problem. But I always have to keep an eye on where most of you guys are going. And if you do more with this equation, it will help you with a few things in calculus. So that's what I'm gonna do. So if you see a tutor and they teach you a different way, beautiful, it works. But just let them know, hey, my weird ass teacher says he wants us to get used to this. You with me? So show me that way. You with me? Okay. There's nothing wrong with the other ways, it just isn't preparatory enough. Okay. Is everybody semi-decent with all this stuff? I'm hoping a decent chunk of this was review, but sometimes with the details it gets lost. So here's what I want to do with the little bit of time I have left. We just finished no we didn't. I'm lying to you. Damn it. I do have one more thing in chapter 4 to talk about. Okay. the problem we just did, it gave us 2 points, yes? And then we found the equation. You with me? So could everyone look at this problem here? Number 9 and 10. You see it right there? Read through this. All right. Does anyone see 2 points? Maybe. Okay. So assume this trend continues. So it's decreasing at a constant rate, which means it's linear. What's 1 point of data?
5,900.
2010 and 5,000.
Yeah, so a point's got 2 parts. So I can consider the input to be the year. I'll show you a slightly better thing to do in a minute, but this is good. So if I write, oh, this sucks. I don't have any freaking whiteboard markers. I'll be right. So everybody got that kind of remembered here? So if I write, here, I'll do this for myself. There we go. 2010, there was 5,900 people, yes? Do you see how that captures the data point? Both of those capture a moment in time. And what would the other point be? Well, I took it away from you, but
2012,
yeah, 2012,
4,700.
4,700. I'm purposely not putting the comma here because otherwise it looks like really a 3-part point. We don't want to do that yet. That's 3 dimensions. So how do I get the equation?
Y equals mx plus b.
Do it
Y equals mx plus b. So,
Almost.
right.
I definitely need the slope, yes? Did they give me the y-intercept?
No.
Those jackasses.
rise over 1.
So I'm going to do this problem in 2 different ways just to kind of show you we're the humans. Did you know that? We are all humans in here. Me even too. I'm going to show you to do it just straight like this, and I'm going to show you a slight way to improve it. How do I get the slope?
Rise over 1.
Yeah, so I could do 4,700 minus 5,900 divided by what?
2012.
2012 minus 2010, and I get negative 1,200 over 2, which is
Negative 120.
huh?
Negative
600.
600. There you go. Is that cool? So are you with me? So that's my m, and now I can do y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
But 2010, 5,900.
Sure, we could use this point here. Doesn't matter, you could use either point. Y minus the y piece equals m times x minus the x piece. Jeff, you're almost there, my friend. There we go. Not the year 210.
2300.
So then,
Sorry? 2,300. What do you mean?
The white.
600 times 2010. By the way, do you guys see how this is gross? Do you guys have calculators? Yes. So it's not that terrible. That'll be 12. What will it be? 12,000.
120600.
Thank you. 120,000.
One more zero. Sorry.
Huh? Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That should be. Oh yeah. One more zero. Okay. Now, do you wish these numbers were smaller? I agree. These numbers are gross. Now I have to add 5,900, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let me give you a slightly better way to do this, because we're the humans here. Currently, how did we define the x variable? What is the x variable's definition right now?
The year.
The year. Look what I can do. What if I define the x variable to be the number of years since 2010? What does this point become then?
0.
0, 5900. And you immediately see a beautiful thing that just happened. Maybe. And then what's the other point become if it's years since 2010? 2, 47. What I want you to realize is, do you see how the slope is the same? Because what do we get on the bottom? 2. What are we going to get here? 2 minus 0. So the slope is still negative 600. What does that slope mean, by the way?
How fast?
Be very specific. What are the units?
What's going
600 watts per what?
Population per year.
600 watts per what? Population of what? Parents?
Population.
People. So it's people per year. So this place is losing 600 people per year. You with me? That's what that means. What is so beautiful about the way we chose to do this now? Do I have to use y minus y1 equals blah, blah, blah?
No.
What do I know now?
The y-intercept.
I know the y-intercept. So y equals negative 600x, because I know the slope, plus 1500. So much better. Now, if they ask me, predict how many people are in the town in the year 2016, do I put 2016 in for x? Because that's not how we defined x. So that's the trade-off. You have to remember, I defined x to be years since 2010. So if I want to know population in 2016, how do I do that?
2016 minus 2010. Or just plug in 6.
Plug in 6, because it's 6 years since 2010. You guys with me? Now that is a kind of a big assumption. Populations don't normally change linearly. But it's not bad for like general planning purposes. Is it good for a town to know how many people are going to be living in it in the next few years?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they want to plan resources and so forth. I remember one town not far from where I used to live, they had one stoplight. So whenever we went down there, they had a strawberry festival. Let's go to Pungo. The name of the town was Pungo. Let's meet at the stoplight. So we met at the stop. Anyway, very tiny town. What's my point? I'm sorry. So now I just do this shit and see how many people. Then I can ask how long until the town is like a ghost town, and you could figure out. How would you figure that out? How long until nobody lives there?
Y equals 0.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you would set y equal to 0. On a ghost town. How long until nobody's there? Then you can just solve this for x, yes? Now real quick, can somebody, let's do this real quick. Subtract 5900, is that cool? Divided by negative 600. And you get, what do you get, Jeff? I don't know.
9.83.
9.83? What is your guess? Sounds about right, to be honest. No, 9.16, I think. No, that's the other way around, Jeff. Yeah, 9.8333, yeah. But what does this mean? What does that mean? Is it the year 10? Is it the year 9.83? Is this the 9th century? How did we define x? How did we define x?
Years away from 2010.
Year since 2010. So what year is this? What year is it?
2019.
In 2019, towards the end of 2019, right? 0.83 is like towards the end. So towards the end of 2019, this town is gone. Everybody gone. You with me? And you just go in and pick a house. Sounds good to me. Okay. All right. So 4.2 is basically these. I wouldn't even call these word problems. They're not really word problems. They just give you information that you write as a point, and then you just create the equation of a line. So they're not really word problems yet. What did I just do? Oh, that's what I did. Okay. So the very last thing for today. You guys have been very patient. Chapter 4 is all about lines. We just finished chapter 4. we're getting into quadratics now. We already talked about how to solve quadratic equations. We talked about like quadratic formula, we talked about completed square, yes? But they didn't really have a lot to do with the graph. So now we're going to focus on aspects of the graph of a parabola. Can somebody help me, if I have just this, I was talking about this earlier, what's the vertex of this parabola? Zero, zero, because the vertex is another name for the vertex, which is slightly better, is the turning point. It's the point where it turns. Yes? Not turning point USA, dear God. So that's my normal parabola. Can anyone tell me, so the vertex is at 0, 0 for a standard parabola. Can anyone tell me what's going on with this equation here? What does this do to this? How does this relate to this? How does this relate to this?
SN to the power 2.
Do you see two things that do something? What's happening? What's it do to the graph of x squared? It's going to go to the
Right.
right one, and then up one, yes? So even before I graph shit, can anyone tell me where the vertex is going to end up? It goes right one, up one, 1, 1. I don't have to graph the damn thing. Can't you just look at this? So this is neat. This is immediately on the tail of me talking about circles, talking about mx plus b shit. If you put equations in the right form, you can see elements of what the graph would be. Of course you can, because the equation is what creates the graph. So if I put a quadratic in this form, I could just see the vertex. 1, 1. Yes? It's almost too nice to believe. So can somebody tell me, so this one, the vertex would be 1, 1, just because that's how it shifts. So what would the vertex be for this guy here? Yeah, 11? Negative 4.2, exactly, yes, yes. Why does this positive 11? Because that's how frickin' shifts work, right? This would shift right 11, this would shift down. So it's the opposite sign, same sign, right? That's where the vertex would move to. I don't have to graph it. I'm really happy. Is everybody cool with the fact that that 3 doesn't do shit to me? It doesn't change where the vertex is, it just changes how quickly it's going up. The vertex would stay in the same place, yes? So any number out here, the only thing this number could do, does this parabola open up or down? Does it open up or does it open down? Up, because it's positive. If I put a negative here, then it would flip over the x-axis, yes? So here, this is the vertex, opens up. What about this one here?
Opens down.
Opens down,
To the left 5.
and the vertex will be
Negative 5, 1, 1, 1.
become a column. Okay. So one of the things we're going to do first thing next time is if they give me a quadratic that's not in that form, some of you guys might understand that part of what we're going to do is complete the square. So if they give me a quadratic that's like 4x squared plus 8x plus 2, I want to put it in this form so I can see the vertex, yes? That's 100 lemons, sorry. Yeah. That's a good point. I try not to really overemphasize when it's actually bad, yeah. Okay. Okay, that's plenty, guys. I'll let you out a little early because I talked a lot. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Is Michael Bunn here? Michael? No. I don't know if I'm ever gonna see him again.
Is that stuff that's been accepted or?
No, it's something somebody hasn't got back yet because they haven't been here.
This is in science documentation. And
Do
I
it again,
wanted-
sorry.
It's in the science. This is science
Oh, I
documentation,
see.
And I wanted to do it regular.
Hold on. I remember. I got the same thing, but I don't use it the most. Is it this year? Here we go.
Hold on, Professor.
I think that's the best we could do. See you. So now if you do 8 times 96, there we go.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Sure.
I think you're still recording, but
Thank you.
I